What's poppin', everybody? This is the cartoon kid Ray Rawlins, and today, or for this week, I should say, of our rendition of the Ramblin' Review. Oh, we gotta start over. I keep doing Ramblin' Review. Three.
I think you could say today's.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, okay. Three, two, one. What's poppin', everybody? This is the cartoon kid Ray Rawlins, and for today's edition of the Random Review, we're going back to F is for Family, and today we're reviewing season 1, episode 2. We're kind of continuing down the order in which we started with this series, and this episode is called Saturday, Bloody Saturday. Interesting name, I suppose, but Alex Payne doesn't want to do this description, so I can do it. I'm going to make it sound better anyways. But for this episode, long story short, we find out that Kevin, obviously the teenage kid, is failing his classes in high school, right? So basically, he gets in a little argument with his daddy, good old Frank Murphy. He's like, "Oh, you're nothing just a baggage handler, okay? You ain't shit, basically." So Saturday rolls around, and everybody's gonna split up and do their own thing. Frank basically tells Billy, or Matt, I believe his name is. I forgot his name. I think it's Billy. But he basically
It's
tells Billy, he's
Billy.
like, "Yo, yeah, right, okay." He's like, "Billy, you're gonna be in charge of your sister Maureen, man. Your mom's doing her little hobby, whatever the hell you want to call it, selling some shit, getting that shit prepared. So you stay out of her way." So Billy's gonna be in charge of Maureen, and they're gonna go off to have their little adventure. He's got to keep her safe, because he said, "Yo, if you don't keep us safe, I'm gonna put you through the fucking wall, okay?" And then Kevin and Frank basically go off to do their own thing at the airport. Now, Frank's goal was to show Kevin that, yo, being a baggage handler ain't shit. It's not as bad as you think it is. So he wants to show that he does a real serious job, which he does end up accomplishing through a nice, good story of events throughout this episode. But that's just the gist of it. So let's get down into breaking it down. I know, Alex, you got to say something about the animation, but I do have to say this. I don't know if it's just me, but I mean, the overall animation doesn't look as stiff in episode 1. I know you told me about the sequence where Matt was running. I keep saying Matt. Billy was running down the street. It was terrible. But yeah, you know what? I gotta mention this. I said this in episode 1 of our review that I keep calling this kid Matt because he kind of looks like the kid from Cyber Chase with the freaking the green shirt and like blue pants and his orange ass hair. So I'm gonna probably be doing that a lot more. But anyway, go ahead. Speak your piece.
Well, I mean, like I said, the animation for in general was all right. There was a little weird moments, like
No,
when
of
the
course,
car was
yeah. But
driving out of the thing. It was a little weird,
yeah,
but
yeah.
that run was terrible. I would listen if I was the freaking guy in charge of that shit. I would have took that out because that didn't even need to be there. He could have just been like shit, and then they could have cut to something else. They didn't need
Listen,
to have that run sequence in there and show how god awful the animation was.
listen.
Because
That
listen, they
kid,
have enough difficulty with smaller movements, and then they want to try and have this nigga running. Like that looked terrible.
motherfucking boots to ass cheeks, boots to ass cheeks. Let's go. Boom, 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 boom. Like, I don't. It wasn't even boom, 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 boom. How'd you say it was boom,
Like it was like
boom, boom? It was fucked up.
yeah, it was like this weird slow motion running. Just zoom, zoom, zoom. It's like oh my god! Listen, it looked like he was running in slow motion
But
through water.
I want to give them credit for this, cause and I don't quote me on this, but I want to say this was their first like animated series actually, getting done and shit. So F is for Family's been around for a good ass minute. So I want to give them at least the credit to be like, yo, man, this is their first series. It's gonna be better, I'm sure, down the line. Look at Big Mouth. Big Mouth, I would say, definitely has way better animation than this. And well, actually, didn't that come out around the same time? I think. I don't know.
I
Probably
don't know.
maybe
I
like
can't really say.
2017. But either
I don't
way,
even think it's them. I think it's the animation house they chose because a lot of these places have like because they have like just like with anything else they have like these groups of people that does animations and they could whoever they picked must be just have a garbage art style or just ain't that great.
listen, let's get into moments, man. Actually, you know what? I guess I gotta mention my first thought. I don't want to take up too much time with this, but I do have to say I'm glad I was never put in the position to like take care of any of my brothers and sisters because I'm the youngest one in the family. Because man, the motherfuckers will give you hell. Okay? And with all that being said, we're gonna cover that in a little bit with the moments and shit. But I'm gonna let you talk about your moments, Alex, if you even have any. So go ahead.
I don't know. I don't really have any moments like that. I love Bill Burr, as the voice of Frank. I always love him. So some of the shit he said was having me laughing. But in general, not really. I like the end when Kevin, even though that's like an overused joke, the oh, I'm gonna say something about you that's very go into
Yeah,
this long, detailed description about something that's terrible involving you. Like that's a very
yeah,
overused and cliche joke,
yeah. Because
but
the
it still
lady
was funny.
basically, forgive people, the lady was just shitting all over him because she thought he was in control, like her pills and shit that she had in her bag and whatnot. So he thought that he lost her stuff. So she was just basically going in on him, and Kevin was just watching that, and he was like, "Man, that lady was just shitting all over you, and you just had to take it." Da da da. Woo, woo. He just kept
What
going
did he
on
say?
and
So
on and on.
she was shoveling the her feces in his mouth.
Yep, and he was just gobbling it up. I was like, "Damn, come on, Kevin, just shat all over the man." But I gotta say, for one of my moments, them freaking redneck kids that they play with, Billy and Maureen, that they play with, them fucking redneck kids. Boy, ooh, they're weird ones. They're weird ones. And I know I'm making a second redneck reference. Actually, no, that was last week. But um, no, they were freaking terrible, man. Like they're freaking disgusting, which is what they try to play them up to be. I like how obviously Billy's goal is trying to keep Maureen safe so his dad don't kill him, and she's just putting his ass through the ringer, right? So she's playing with these kids, and then he's like, "Let's play something a little more safe," and she just kicks him right in his freaking 12-year-old nuts. Just bow! It's just, oh man, it's like, oh shit, why does this hurt so much? I gotta say too that I noticed like the whole object or the whole idea of swearing and shit. And you mentioned this in our Harley Quinn review that we're doing actually tomorrow. Um, is that you thought that they overuse swearing, just to put that shit in there. How do you feel about this in this episode or in this series rather?
Um, I feel like certain moments,
It
like that's a
calls
good
for it.
example. Like I think in general it fits because it's actual in general cursing, not cursing for the sake of cursing. Now
Right.
on sometimes it sounded weird, but I think that was more down to the voice acting than the
Yeah, like
actual.
like Kevin and at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it was more down to voice acting than the actual words themselves. So, but what I'm saying is, I think they represent cursing pretty decently in the show.
Okay. Okay. To continue on with my moments though, I gotta mention how when Maureen was basically climbing that tree and she basically falls and fucks herself up, and then Matt or Billy's like, "Oh man, are you okay? Come on, get up." And then the one of the redneck kids is like, "Here, you want my pillow?" And he's like, "Get away from her!" He just fucking he just snaps that ass. Get away
You
from her!
want my pillar?
And then, obviously she wants to be like, "Oh man, I can probably get even higher next time." And then he just basically goes off on her. "Oh, you got a fucking death wish, da da da, woo 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 woo." And then he basically makes her cry. And speaking of crying, I guess leads me to my other moment, the mom. And she's just basically a lonely fuck. She's lonely as hell, man. She realized that her life really ain't shit. Cause Frank basically says like, "Yo, that little things she's doing, it's not a job. It's just a hobby, man. It's just a hobby. It's not a real job." It's basically shitting all over her. And she
Shit on her.
and she is just freaking crying her eyes out. I'm like, damn, that's kind of fucked up, man. Um, I want to say, oh, I'm surprised you didn't mention this guy, the motherfucking his boss, that big dude. I think his name is Bob. But man, just that whole
But
scene between
actually,
them two. Oh my god.
listen, I'll say this, and this goes down to production as well. Why is it that his mouth was full of food, but yet he somehow sounded like he was still talking normal?
True, true. And you are 100% right. I mean, you can still hear him like eating and shit a
Yeah, but
little bit.
it sounds like someone else is eating in the room and he's talking.
Right, right. But Bob is one nasty motherfucker. I just like how they were cracking jokes. That big old black dude, Frank was cracking jokes when he's trying to find Kevin. He's like, "Oh man, maybe Bob ate him or some shit." I'm like, man,
That
shat
the
all over
black
dude.
guy's
And
voice sounds super familiar. I know it's a very common one, but I can't think of for the life of me where I know that voice from.
what about the scene where Kevin's basically up in the little room and he's like, "Oh man, ain't no door gonna tell me what to do." Obviously, when Frank leaves and he goes
Yeah,
out and all the cars basically just about to fucking mow his ass. I was like, "Oh
yeah, that
shit!"
was funny. That was funny. I like that one.
But it's just I like one thing that I enjoyed about this series as I was watching with my brother is like this has a whole bunch of good comedy, and I could probably go on for a little bit more talking about moments and whatnot. But we don't want to keep y'all here all day. So, Alex Payne, obviously, I know you have a negative, so give me a positive for this episode.
What you trying to say, man? Come on. But
Listen, I know. Listen, when you don't have any, or when you don't like the episode in general, you usually have no moments. So I was like, okay, yeah, okay, hit us with that negative first, and then give us the positive. I know you, man. We do this shit.
listen, well, I guess so. But my positive, I think that, like you said, the humor in the episode in general is good, and I like Bill because it has Bill Burr's humor written all over it and shit and everything. So I like the humor. But for a negative, I don't know. Like a negative, I would have to, other than the animation, because I know that's what you're thinking I'm gonna say. But
Oh
that
no,
isn't.
animation or voice acting.
But because I mean, other than a certain moments, the voice acting is okay. But the see, my negative is something I can't really put my finger on. All I know is the episode just I just I just ain't feeling it.
Okay,
I just
all right.
ain't for no
And
deep particular reason. Like as as bad as this sounds, but it is. I don't mean it to sound that bad. I just couldn't wait for it to be over.
no, and you know what though, and that's the thing, and that's why I like doing these reviews because everybody has differing opinions. Everybody does. Like, and this is the perfect example. You aren't really picking up on this series like I did, like me and my brother did. And you know what? And vice versa. I'm not picking up on Ed, Ed and Eddie like most people would. Like everybody's always telling me watch Ed, Ed and Eddie, and I'm just not. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. That's not my series. Just like this isn't your series, and that's all fine and good. Like I said, everybody has different opinions, and that's why I'm like, oh, yo, leave your comments down in the comments box below and all that because I want to see what people really think of this episode, and that's how I am, man. I just when it comes to anything, books, cartoons, movies, all that, I love to see people's opinion. But my positive, I gotta say, these episodes in this show are very humor based, and that's one thing you can get me with. Like have a good storyline, good characterization. I liked how this episode explored all of the kids, Maureen, Billy, and Kevin. I keep wanting to saying he has a teenage daughter, but I don't. They don't. So and you can even see a little bit of the mom in this episode. Everybody had their own little screen time. You get to learn a little bit more about the kids. I like the fact that this is a serialized series. It goes episode to episode, stories carry over and shit. And I think the next one is on the little football game that they got going on. So I really like that aspect. Like you get to see everything, a little bit of something in each of the characters with this episode. It's very humor based. I thought the story was pretty good. It was very interesting, and I'm surprised we didn't mention the two workers that Kevin was dealing with, popping peels with them in the little funny moments where they were showing that Frank's old boss or the old manager getting beheaded on the tarmac and shit. We didn't mention that, but that was a good little moment in itself. You get to see Kevin go through this little change to gain a little bit more respect for his father, which was pretty cool. Negative, I'm not too sure where I want to go with this. Like you said, animation is not the best, obviously, but to me, and I don't know if it's just me just thinking this, but compared to episode one, it doesn't look as stiff. It looks a little bit better. Um, I honestly say I don't have a negative that I really want to point out in this. Honestly, I don't. But I'm just gonna toss my review in here since I'm going on this whole diatribe about the episode. It's pretty good. Like, this episode is pretty good. If this was ever on TV, would you watch this episode again? Perhaps. I honestly think this is a lot better than episode 1 story wise, simply because you get a little exploration from all the characters, and which is something a series or a series starting with 6 episodes would need, to get you introduced and feeling some type of way about the characters. Story pretty good, comedy pretty good. I pretty much said everything I needed to say about this episode. I'm gonna hit it with a good 7 out of 10. Pretty good episode, in my humble opinion. But go ahead, Alex.
I'm gonna keep it simple. I like that they didn't have some big, giant, huge, and this is a positive, I guess you could say, for the show as well. Like, they didn't have this big, huge, epic thing happen to make Kevin change his opinion on it. It was like very subtly done.
Right.
So it was,
it's something that can happen in the everyday world too.
It's not even like, I mean, I guess that's it too, but like, it should, because usually they'll have this big extreme thing, like, ooh, whatever. It's like, now I understand, change, whatever. But it was just something so light and simple, so I like that. But as for rating, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Even though I wasn't really feeling it like that, I don't think it was bad, and I think it was above average. But I wouldn't watch it again though.
No, of course. Just like I wouldn't watch like Ed and Eddie or anything like that. That's why, like I said, that's why I like
having I might watch episodes of the show again, but I don't know if I watch it. I know I wouldn't watch this episode again.
It gets better though. Don't feel bad about saying that, because I really like this series. This is my time rewatching it actually. So I haven't even watched seasons 2 or 3, and I've been telling myself, oh yeah, you need to watch that for the past 2 years. I was happy as shit when I saw season 2 came out, and I haven't watched a single episode. But that has been our review for F is for Family, season 1, episode 2. Saturday, Bloody Saturday, man. I'm the cartoon kid, Ray Rawlins. I give this episode a 7 out of 10. And he's Alex Payne, and he gives it a 6 out of 10, man. This is the Cartoon Kid channel where we talk cartoons and we do it daily, baby. Y'all know what to do. Down in the comments box below, tell us if you love this episode. Tell us if you hate it. Tell us why and what do you think they should do to make it better. Whoop, whoop, all that good shit. If you have any different episodes that you want us to review, or if you have other shows that you want us to review, toss it down in the comments box below too, man. But with all that being said, we will see you when we see you. Peace out, everybody.